Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Four of Pentacles. Almost feels as if we are slowly building a tower around ourselves, right? And maybe this is a good thing. Maybe we are laying down brick by brick this foundation of stability, of health, of wealth, fitness, and finances, right? I think you're somebody that is trying to really stack up the wins in life, stack up the security. Maybe it's financial security. Maybe we're talking about emotional security. We're trying to really insulate ourselves against the perhaps some negative energy coming from outside. Okay, and in the efforts to do this, sometimes we tend to isolate ourselves. So sometimes this insulation becomes too thick that not even the good stuff can get in. Okay, I think this is a very good card because I think that we're working on sort of protecting ourselves. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's just you. But I feel like we're stacking up these protective blocks, and whether this is maybe financial security that we're going for, maybe this is an effort to achieve a kind of health or wellness that we feel is going to give us some stability and some safety. But anytime we start caring too much about the four, I think we're asking for a five, right? We're asking for things to change. There's going to be some variable. There's going to be some kind of surprise that's going to shake this foundation a little bit, okay? And well, it's a very good thing that we've been building up ourselves, okay? And maybe this is a spiritual thing. Maybe we've been trying to really fortify ourselves against any kind of negative energy, against any kind of pessimism or any kind of criticism coming from outside, right? Anything that may sort of be threatening our ambition, threatening our will, okay? This is a card of material power. I think that you are a very strong person, whether we're talking physically, financially, mental, emotionally, spiritually, all of these things. I think you are fortified. Let's see what's happening where Spirit is asking us to consider this fortification and what it means and what it has been doing for us. Let's see what the next card is going to be. Ooh, a Three of Cups. Okay. I feel like this is these are those things that you hold sacred, right? These are those things inside of these four walls that you're trying to protect. Okay. I also feel like the Three of Cups is kind of a card that's saying we need to express our emotions. We need to be able to communicate and admit to ourselves and express outwardly what it is that we really need. Because that Four of Pentacles, like I said, it can be isolating. So as much as we're focused on building up these very strong and thick walls to protect us, maybe we are also in need of some of this emotional connection. Because this is the card of that potential, right? For abundance, for love, for connection, for bliss. Maybe it's saying that in these four walls, we're missing something. We're not really getting the kind of connection that we want. Okay? We have to begin expressing our emotions and realizing that, okay, maybe I need to not slow down on building this foundation, but perhaps to be able to communicate and ask for what else I need. Yeah. Well, there's the Wheel of Fortune. There is the Justice card. There's a Prince of Swords and an Eight of Swords. I feel like maybe right now we don't really know how to ask for what we need. I think that the Wheel of Fortune is a very expansive card, and it's kind of, if we're trying to expand on these potentially isolating walls, I think the Wheel of Fortune is going to have a bit of a difficult time doing that. With the air energy that we have kind of overarching the whole reading, I feel like you've been on a very specific plan. I feel like you've been doing things in a very sort of professional way. And it may be that we need a little bit of joy. We need a little bit of spontaneity, right? That we have to kind of venture outside of those four walls and make these connections. I think that you've been either very focused on business, very focused on your health or your fitness, and I think it has sort of disconnected you from other people in your life a little bit. Okay. And then with the Eight of Swords in the future position, I think maybe we're wondering why, or what can I do about it now? If there's anything, Sagittarius, that you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now we'll put the rest of our cards on the table and we'll see what is going to come into your life. We have an 8 of Wands, a 7 of Wands. We have the Lust or Strength card, and we've got the 2 of Cups. So it's kind of like we're getting that connection. We're getting the satisfaction of these desires that we have here. I think they're being fulfilled here. We're finding the connections that we need. It could be that you're doing all of this work with your 4 of Pentacles, but we're just not feeling it. We know we're doing the right thing. We don't want to stop doing it. Maybe you're focused on building up your savings, getting out of debt. You're focused on your physical health. You're trying to eat and train, and you're doing what you need to do. But there's still there's still so much more potential for love, for connection, for joy, for happiness, for bliss. And to me, it feels like this is sort of right now the unfulfilled aspect of things. It could be that we're not really feeling a connection with what we're doing. Okay? And maybe the 8 of Swords is kind of saying, well, I know I'm building up the finances or the health or whatever, and I know I'm doing the right thing, but if I'm not feeling connected to it, maybe I should be doing something different. Maybe we abandon the 4 of Pentacles and we go do something that is wild and crazy and has more connection to it, something for which we maybe feel more passion, right? And I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but I know that we're in this loop of thought where we're just not sure what to do from here. The 4 of Pentacles is kind of a box that we find ourselves. Maybe it's the box of your job or the box of just the routines, the habits that you have in life. And it's just like the 3 of Cups is saying, I need something more. I need something that's going to really, there's something more out there. Maybe this is about taking risk. Maybe this is about really admitting what you truly want and what you desire and what kind of life you want to live and what kind of relationship you want with yourself and with the universe. And maybe we do need to get outside of that box. Okay? I feel like you have these deeper desires in life. There is more potential. There is more fulfillment that you're after. But the 8 of Swords is saying, I don't really know. I don't know what that is, and I don't know how to get it. And I don't know how to talk about it. Okay? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our very own Kelly Kapoor, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. All right. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. Looking around the room, major arcana, we've got the 3, okay? We got the very, I would say, logical, discerning, the well thought out, the very committed plan that we've been on, that we've been following, the path that we've been following. But the Wheel of Fortune is suggesting that things aren't always going to go according to plan, that there is this, I I think there's a deeper potential in you for growth, for expansion, for really kind of going outside your boundaries here. Okay. But the Justice card in this aspect, I think, is that the commitment that we've made to continue on this path with that Four of Pentacles. But now we're reaching this point where something doesn't quite feel as good as it should, right? And I think the Wheel of Fortune is kind of this churning energy inside of you that's sort of asking, well, there's something more. There's something bigger. It feels like you're meant to do something great. It feels like you're capable of doing something great. It feels like there's something within you that wants to sort of break down the walls and break out of that box, okay? And of course we have the Lust or the Strength energy, which is the difficult thing. It's the card in the difficult position, because the hardest thing to do right now is to, in some ways, venture out of this safety of this box and follow your passion. Follow not even really the passion, but follow what you feel and what you know to be kind of your greatest, biggest desire, the one thing that just could consume you in life, right? But we're staying here, and it seems there's a lot of air energy, a lot of fixed air here. And it's just kind of like, this is the safety, this is the safe place, okay? But there's something in you that's telling you there's more. You're meant for more. There's something greater out there for you. And if we're already feeling that there is an untapped potential within us, the Eight of Swords is kind of saying that we're never really going to be content with that Four of Pentacles. So it seems to me that this Lust or Strength card is really the name of the game right now. This is the difficult thing, but it feels like this is what we have to seriously consider. Okay. With that Eight of Swords, I feel that, in the future, there's never going to be a satisfaction. There's never going to be a real clarity or a peace of mind, even. No matter how much we try to force ourselves to stay in this box. And this could be a job that, is paying the bills. It's creating this kind of stability. It is not fulfilling the potential. There's some way we feel about this that we need to be honest about. But in the future, it doesn't seem like this is really leading to a deeper satisfaction or the fulfillment of your potential, right? So in the future, when we're kind of thinking about things, we know how this is going to go. We know that in 5 or 10 years, if we stay in this box, we're going to feel the same way, that something's missing. We're going to feel that there's some untapped potential that could have been but isn't. But then we're 5 or 10 years older. It's going to be harder then to embrace this kind of risk, right? Or this kind of going after your passion, right? Going after what it is that you want more than anything in the world, right? Taking a chance, really, on yourself. Yeah. And so we feel sometimes that we're stuck in this box, and what is really the downside, okay, of the downside of staying in the box, I think, is in the future we're still going to feel as if we're uncertain about things. We're still going to be rather not confused so much, but we're still going to be ruminating on what could have been, ruminating on what this untapped abundance really is. And, maybe that leads to some regret. But if we take a chance on ourselves, see, and we invoke this fire energy, fire, fire, fire. If we get that fire going and we literally get fired up about something, and we devote ourselves to it, the potential here for real satisfaction and real love and real joy and real bliss, I think, far outweighs the downside of what what could be a scary thing, getting outside the box, getting outside the comfort zone, getting outside the so-called safety of what we have now. We think that it's, for instance, I used to think that I had a very secure job, right? And I was there for 15 years, and towards the end, now I ended up quitting that job to do tarot full-time, because toward the end of that job, they started letting a lot of people go. People that have been there for years, 10, 15 years, started letting people go, laying people off. The culture of the company was changing, and I started to get kind of scared, because my wife and I, we had at that time a 2-year-old daughter. And I'm thinking, oh man, eventually I'm going to lose this job. I've got to figure something out. This isn't going to last. I thought it was very stable and very secure, but I began to realize it wasn't, okay? And so what I decided to do was take a risk on doing tarot on YouTube. And here I am now 3 years after that, 2.5 years, I guess, after that. And, I do not regret making that move, making that switch, okay? I would have probably been regretting if I had stayed in that company, thinking, well, they're not going to let me go. No way. I've been here for 15 years, right? And then losing my job and thinking in that despair, I don't know what I'm going to do, okay? So I'm not saying that your situation is not as stable as you think, but let's consider the fact that maybe it's not as stable as we think. Anytime we get a 4, we automatically expect a 5 at some point. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is stable. Nothing is secure. Okay? So this is not as permanent as we may think. Okay? So I feel like you're in a position where it's a good time for you to take this risk for yourself. Take this chance on yourself. Believe in yourself. This is a card that says I'm kind of helpless right now. I don't know what to do. And maybe there is a hint of instability in that 4 of Pentacles for you, whether it's your job or whatever it is. And maybe that 3 of Cups is saying there's something else that I want more. There's something that I really want to do. I don't know exactly how to go about getting it. I don't know if I have a plan for that. I feel like you're somebody that likes to have likes to be able to see a few steps forward so you kind of know what you're doing, But anyway, we've got our 3 majors. We've got fire, we've got water, we've got air, we've got a little bit of earth. The earth is really the minor thing. It's not so much about what you're doing, but how and why. And if you're doing this 4 of Pentacles, but there's some untapped potential in you that's not being fulfilled, that you're not feeling the connection with that 4 of Pentacles, that how and why might need to be evaluated. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune underneath, I think that there's something in you that wants to get out. There's this untapped potential, and I think Spirit's telling you to trust in that. Trust that there's so much more that you could do, and it doesn't mean you have to quit your job, doesn't mean you have to leave your family or break up with your spouse or anything. But it means find out what it is that you love more than anything else. What is it that you want to do? And it's kind of, if this 8 of Swords were not in front of you, this feeling of helplessness, this is almost a fear. This is almost a belief that we cannot do anything. If we got rid of this, what would you want to do? What do you think you are capable of in life? If you had no fear and no disbelief and no doubt, what would you want to do? What decision would you make? Are you going to open up that bookstore? Are you going to go after that other job? Are you going to get back to your art, your creativity, or whatever you do, right? Are you going to start your business? What is it? What would you do if there were no fear? If you had full faith, hope, and trust in yourself and in the universe, what would you do? Now, the Wheel of Fortune is basically Spirit's way of saying, look, if you make the decision, if you take the leap, and you're willing to suffer and sacrifice and pay your dues, you're going to be rewarded. It's going to cost you. Yeah, we see that with the 7 of Wands in the environment. It's going to cost you, but the rewards, are so worth it, right? This is going to cost you too. Staying in that Four of Pentacles is going to cost you as well. The Adjustment card, I think that this has been, at least lately, a life of really kind of following the path. I'm just trying to stay on the straight and narrow, trying to be a good person and just do what I need to do. Hopefully if I do everything in a very safe and conservative way, very thoughtful way, that Four of Pentacles will be permanent and stable and it'll be okay, right? I used to feel this way when I was in a lot of jobs that I had, where if I just keep my nose clean and I stay under the radar, I do everything right. If I'm a good boy, I'm gonna be taken care of, right? It didn't usually happen that way. Okay, we feel that way in life. If I just try to stay small and I try to just stay safe and I try to do everything the so-called right way, then the universe will take care of me, the world will take care of me, and things will be okay. It's sort of it's kind of a timid way of going about things, you know. And I've been there, especially with this last job. I just felt, well, if I just try my best to please everybody, if I try to make friends with the people I work with, if I try to just be the best gosh darn employee that I could be, I'd be safe from being on the chopping block, you know, when the layoffs or the restructuring, whatever they want to call it, was going on. And eventually I realized, yeah, I could do that, but I would not be happy with myself. I would never feel safe. I would never feel real. I feel like I was kind of just putting on an act in order to save my butt. And if I felt that way, then I'm sure everybody else could see it too. That just really trying not to get fired here, you know. And so that's not something that's going to work out, because that inevitably is going to lead to your Eight of Swords, where it just feels like I can't do anything. I'm at the mercy of whatever forces are around me. I can plead and beg, and I can try to make friends with everybody, and I, almost feel like, well, if I had a good relationship with the supervisor or the boss, well, then I'd be spared, right? No, it doesn't work that way. We may think it does, and so this is a Libra energy. This is the energy that we feel like if we make the right connections, that somehow that protects us, And it's kind of like if I feel weak, I want some buddies who are very strong, so that they can protect me if and we're out in the world and some situation happens, right? I'm not strong, but I've got really strong friends, so you better watch out. But I think this is dangerous. This is going to really put us in a bad position, especially when that Four of Pentacles starts to shake a little bit, and we start to get a sense of that instability, and we're thinking, oh, now what, right? The Prince of Swords up at the top here, I feel like this is your realization that you got to make a decision. We either try to forget all about this Three of Cups inside of us that's just saying, like, I want something else. I want something. What is it? What am I needing here? Something's not happening in my life, and I'm very aware of it. We either try to forget about that, or we go the other way and we say, forget it. I'm done with all that BS. And this was really my awareness 2.5 years ago, when I said, I either stay doing what I'm doing and cross my fingers, that I don't get fired or laid off, that I just, I hope that other people can protect me when it's my turn to be considered for the layoffs, and I can live my life that way for the foreseeable future, or I could start doing something now that's going to, at least, if I'm taking a risk either way, I might as well take the risk and take the chance on myself. So I started doing the tarot on YouTube, and I still had the day job. Still had the day job, but you know what? I wasn't so much worried about that. I focused all my efforts here. I still put in the hours at work, and I tried to do a good job, and that was that. And then the YouTube started growing so much that I said, okay, I'm actually going to quit that job, and I'm going to devote myself full time to this. Okay, and I think that you're in a position where it's kind of the same choice is on the table for you. And it doesn't mean that you have to quit your job first and then do this big thing. No, start doing the big thing now. With your free time, with any extra effort you have, start doing the big thing now. And the big thing is going to grow so big that you're not going to care about this other thing that you've been holding on to. Maybe you could keep it, maybe you don't keep it, maybe it just makes it easier to do it because you're not worried about it anymore. Whatever happens is going to happen, that's okay. Not because what the business that you're creating is suddenly going to be a wild success, but that you trust yourself now that you're going to figure it out. You trust yourself that you can apply yourself in any direction and you can build something. You have that strength and that confidence, this is the strength card, right? This is the obstacle. This is what we need to muster right now. Okay? And of course that Eight of Swords is saying, I don't feel like I can do anything. And it's kind of like we just see a tangle of wires in front of us, and we don't know how to make heads or tails of any of it. Okay? But as we talk about the path of the serpent, we get that Eight of Wands, right? And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It supports the channel, and of course I appreciate that. So the Eight of Wands is basically saying, we're sitting here tangled up and we just see a bunch of wires in front of us and we don't know what to do. We're just kind of like that. The fire energy is saying, just get up and do something. Just get up and start doing something toward this. Do something that is sort of scary. Do something that is kind of like taking a chance on yourself, right? Perhaps you don't know exactly what this desire is or what this potential is or what you kind of want more than anything in the world. Or what you would do if you weren't afraid of anything. If you had unlimited resources and unlimited power and strength and confidence, what the heck would you do? Maybe we just start doing something until we can answer that question. Okay, this is the first appearance of the fire energy. There's no fire over here. This is kind of just like, I'm just maintaining. I'm just kind of going through the routine and trying to stay as safe as I can in that little box. There's no fire. There's no inspiration. There's no passion. There's no thirst. There's no hunger. Okay, we see that starting out here. And really the Eight of Wands should be one of your power cards because it is Mercury in Sagittarius. It's kind of saying that, look, we just have to start exploring these different directions and being creative and applying ourselves with these different ideas that we have or, different things that you've always wanted to pursue until we can answer that question. If I had no fear, what would I do? What do I want, really? Okay? And then all of these arrows, all these bolts of lightning that are going in different directions will start going in the same direction. We'll start corralling them all in this direction, and then you will be applying your energy, your focus to this great big thing that's inside of you that's ready to come out. Okay? Because right now, this fire energy seems like it's kind of stopped up inside of you. It might be a little bit of anxiety. It might feel like I know I can't stay here, but I don't know where to go. Maybe that Eight of Swords needs to give way to some kind of different swords energy. Maybe we need a little different air in the mystery card, perhaps. Because we need to cut through this rumination, and we need to just ask ourselves that simple question. If I had no fear, if I had confidence, if I believed in myself, what do I want to do in life, right? And then we start figuring out, okay, how am I going to go about doing that? What do I really need to start working on to make that happen? For me, not to bring everything back to my journey, but I feel that it applies here. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I said, well, maybe I'll start a YouTube channel. Okay, what am I good at? What do I really want to do? Well, I want to talk to people. I want to help people. I want to connect with people, right? I kind of always have had this underlying energy of wanting to help, wanting to be of service. I was an EMT for a little while. I've always had this idea of I love learning, I love teaching, I love conversations, right? I love information, I love talking. And so I just kind of think, I always have loved the esoteric arts and tarot and stuff. And I said, well, why don't I just start reading tarot cards and talking about tarot on on a channel, and then that'll be what I put my effort into. Okay. And I like the art of it. I like a little bit of the performance of it, right? I always kind of fancied myself like I don't know, an actor or a musician or something like that, right? And so we start working on those little things, and we figure out that, okay, I can apply all those things in a particular direction and start doing that. Now, the Seven of Wands in the environment, like I said, it's going to cost you. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be moments where you just think, oh, this ain't going to work. This is nothing. Nothing's going to happen here. These were those moments for me on my journey when, I was doing the tarot videos, and it was just, the feedback was bad. The set was bad. My attire was bad. My delivery was just terrible. And even I look back on those videos now, and I think, oh, I cringe. When I first started, it was awful. And then, of course, I think, well, God, there are all these other great tarot channels out there. I'm not even going to name them. You know where they are. There are a lot of really, really good ones out there. And I was like, there's no way that anyone's going to want to watch me when they've got all these other people like Minnow Pond and like Sacred Knowledge and all these other things. And Baba Jolie and I don't even know, so many others. And there's no way that anyone's going to want to watch me, But I kept doing it anyway. And the thing is, we can't start thinking like that. Because anytime we get an obstacle, I have an obstacle, one of my videos bombed. Or I have an obstacle, I don't know how to do a camera. I don't know how to do lighting and stuff. I don't know anything about this stuff. I was a sound guy. I did a little bit of audio work. Worked on a couple independent films in Berkeley, California, a long time ago. So more of a sound guy, But there was a lot I didn't know how to do. I don't know how to do cameras, lighting, set design, none of that. I don't know. But if we believe that we can do it, and we don't even entertain the thoughts of, I can't do it and it's not worth doing. No, it's a problem. I got to figure it out. Right? And so we're going to suffer. We're going to experience hardships. But you know what? I was experiencing hardships every single day at my day job. Every day was a challenge to go there and do it. Every day was an obstacle of some other kind, and it was not fulfilling, and it was not satisfying, and it was not, I had no deep soul spiritual connection with what I was doing. I was doing it simply because I thought that I could have some sort of security doing it forever. I figured, well, I guess I'll retire doing this, and it was the pay wasn't very good, but at least it was consistent, And so the obstacles now doing this, greater obstacles, yeah. Bigger risk, yeah. Because now this is my business. This is what's, sustaining myself, my family, and our life. I'm going to start crying. So the challenges are greater and the risks are greater. But there's a connection there. I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do, and this is what I want for you, because the risks, the challenges, the obstacles are going to be greater, yes, but you're going to be glad to face them because this is your purpose. This is what you're doing. We're all going to struggle no matter what. We're all going to meet with challenges, that Seven of Wands. We're all at times going to feel as if the challenge is greater than my capabilities. So what do? Do we just tell our boss, I can't do it? Okay, fine, someone else can do it. Or if this is your business now, if you're taking this risk, you're taking this chance on yourself, you meet with this challenge that is bigger than you, that is beyond your capabilities, what do? You get better and you overcome it. That's your only choice. And there's no question here of, well, should I just quit? Or should I ask somebody else to do it? Or should I give up? Should I do something that's easier? No, it's just, how do I get better so I can overcome this big obstacle? Okay, because there's so much riding on it. You got no choice, But I feel that there is so much more passion and confidence and creativity in that. And again, no one's telling you to leave your job. No one's telling you to quit or anything like that. But I think that Spirit is telling you that you need to follow your passion. There is this potential in you. And it's going to lead to love. It's going to lead to a connection with your life that you've never experienced before. You're going to understand what it means to feel that you're in the right place at the right time doing what you're meant to do. Okay? And it's all about this strength card, having the strength to believe in yourself. This is that stature. This is someone that feels invincible. This is someone that feels that they could just reach up into the sky and pull out a star and put it in their pocket. You know, capable of literally anything. And this is the kind of belief that you have to have in yourself. It's not a question of, can I do it? What if I don't do it? Should I do something else? Wow, this obstacle's huge. No, it's about, okay, what do I got to do? What do I got to do to get over this mountain, to get over this hurdle, to get through this obstacle and get through this roadblock, It's not a matter of if you can, but it's just figuring out how you need to grow in your strength and power to be greater than that obstacle, okay? And that's going to put you in a fulfillment of your true self, right? That you're going to feel in love with yourself and in love with life. We're going from Mercury in Cancer over here to a Venus in Cancer over here, this is kind of like I'm trying to express what I want. I'm trying to figure it out. This is, I'm just enjoying my life now. I'm enjoying what I want and what I'm doing. This is love. This is the ultimate reward. Okay? And it doesn't mean that your days are going to be all bliss and all pleasure. No, but it means that you're doing what you're meant to do. And that feels good even when you're up against those huge obstacles. Let's look at the mystery card. I feel like maybe we need a little bit more swords energy. I feel like we need a couple of swords maybe to show that there's some clarity, that we're figuring out the answer to what do I want to do? What is really going to fulfill me? What am I willing to work so hard and take the biggest risk of my life to do? That when I'm on my deathbed, what am I going to turn around and say, I did that. I tried. That I don't have that regret to say, I never started that business. No, I started the business and this is what happened and this is how it ended up. It's going to be a great story to tell no matter what happens. Okay? Rather than telling that story of, well, I didn't do it. I stayed in that job and yeah, it was, they kept me on board for another 10, 20, 50 years and I retired doing that, There is a satisfaction in that. I will not deny that. I've got friends that have been in the same job literally for 30 or 40 years so far. And I can't say whether they're happy or fulfilled or satisfied or not. But there is a certain consistency in that energy, So I'm not going to deny that. Well, let's see what the mystery card is. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. The Moon card. The Moon card is that unknown future, the dark, scary forest. So it all comes down to you're staring into the abyss. And it's scary. Now, if you weren't scared of this, you would have no problem saying, heck yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going after this dream. You betcha. Why not? I'm not scared, right? But the truth is, we're all scared of risk. We're all scared of big changes. We're all scared of making, taking a chance on ourselves. And this is that dark, scary forest. But this is where growth happens. This is where greatness is born, right? If there is no fear, if there is no obstacle, if there is no dark, scary forest in front of you, then you're not looking in the right direction, right? That we're staying inside of our Four of Pentacles because the dark, scary forest is out here somewhere. If we stay in here, we're looking at the dark, scary forest from a distance, but what if we got out of here and went in here and confronted our fear of risk or of instability? Because I think that the fear of living in an unfulfilled life is maybe a greater fear than taking a risk, fulfilling your potential. You still got this Four of Pentacles. It's still there, right? I'm not saying you're not quitting. Not yet, anyway. But you really have nothing to lose. So we might as well go out here and do the dangerous thing, do the scary thing, right? We're never going to know how it ends up. We're never going to be able to predict the future. Okay? You take this big chance on yourself, you take this big risk, it could fail. Maybe it's going to be a lifelong struggle and there's never going to be that moment where it really hits, you know. The only thing that is certain is that if you keep doing what you're doing now, you're going to run into a continuous Eight of Swords. That is, something's wrong and I don't know what. I don't feel like I have any control or any power over life. We kind of know how that Four of Pentacles life is going to end up. So the alternative here is that maybe I take a big risk on myself and it works out. What's the worst that can happen? Well, it can fail and you can crash and burn and, well, you kind of be right back where you started anyway. So there's really no downside, right? But there is this fear of the unknown. And I think if we admit that even in our Four of Pentacles, there is a fear of the unknown. We don't know how long that Four is going to last. The Four is always going to give way to a Five, every time. There's no security there. There's no predictability there. That dark, scary forest is right here, right now, in our life as it is. So why not invoke this fire, this creativity, and let's do it. All right? Let's do it. We're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do a hexagram from the Jing. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner, and there's a link down below if you want to come join us. Okay? New readings for Sagittarius Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.